Hello, Baker County, and welcome back to the Press Pass, a weekly conversation about what's in the paper, what we're working on, and what Baker County is talking about. All right, the question for today is, you can only bring 2 items on your next trip. What are you taking?
Well, yeah.
Only 2!
Very, very general. Obviously, you want to take your phone, right? Maybe a jacket, a book.
Who knows where you're going?
Yeah. What am I preparing for?
Can we say a category which would be clothes? That would be one.
Yeah, how long are we going? Where
Yeah.
temperature going to be?
And a book.
Nope.
I need a book. That's my. If I'm traveling, I need a book for the traveling. Unless I'm driving, obviously.
Yeah, book and a phone. In case you don't have power, you got something to do.
You can always wash your clothes.
Yeah, right. Buy new clothes.
Right.
But you're not going to have a charger, so you're going to use your phone very, very wisely.
I know.
Yes.
I've gone on many trips where I've left chargers, phones, belts.
To be finding like a public library.
Very
Yes.
necessary things that
Yes.
you just leave and
But yes, I would say clothes and a book are my big things. The phone at this point in my life, I could probably leave that at home and survive for a week. Survive very peacefully, actually. So.
All right. So early voting in the primary election starts tomorrow. That will be Friday, depending on when you're watching this.
yeah, today is Thursday.
Saturday it starts.
Yes.
So it's
Saturday starts
the 8th then?
at the elections office in McClenny. And you can find the sample ballots for all the registered Democrats, Republicans, and independents in this week's edition.
That just the election in general is kind of a huge part of this week's edition. I mean, with both second part of the candidate Q&A results and then some first part of a deep dive on the state Florida House candidates.
Yes, and I think those candidate Q&As, I mean, you can watch them on YouTube, just another plug to go to our YouTube channel.
Like, subscribe.
Yes, and watch the full versions, because basically we have 5 county commissioners and 2 of those seats, which is just like, it's not an even number, but those 2 votes are big when it comes to what is coming up for this county, what is facing this county. Growth is the big topic.
A lot of big stakes in the coming election, for sure, and a lot of hot topics that the readers wanted to know about, and so we addressed the candidates on those issues.
Yeah,
I mean, particularly on flock cameras, public education, a lot of stuff that's sort of central
Sunday
to
alcohol sales.
Sunday alcohol sales, things that are very central to our lives.
Yeah, so I mean, there was a lot of very good information that people need to be informed voters, because I mean, I can tell you, speaking from personal experience, this week, last week, and the week before, the sheer amount of mailers that are coming in my mailbox are depressing. And so I mean, and
the
you
chat
don't
GPT graphics.
Yes, the AI
you know
generated.
how much those things cost.
Yes, and so there's a lot of money going into them, but the problem is very few of them, and I don't want to lump them all together, but very few of them have information that I want to know as a voter. I mean, because you believe this much of it when it's just all the back and forth attack stuff.
Yeah, when it gets really out there, you start to just tune it out.
Yes, and so that's why I feel like, between the YouTube video, and if you're not on YouTube, which if you're watching this, you probably are, but...
Yeah, for those that are just passing through, you can find in this week's edition... I mean, if there's summaries of their responses, but even, I mean, we're talking about 4 candidates, all Republicans in a primary. So a lot of those issues their views are similar, but they're not the same.
Yeah, they're a little different in certain ones. They have different aspects on some of the questions.
Yeah, so definitely check those out and vote accordingly.
Yeah, and I mean, and if you don't want to watch and you don't want to listen to them, I mean, that's something you could probably turn on while you're driving to work and commuting, but we do have the breakdowns in the paper. So we did part 1 last week. We did part 2 this week. If you missed last week's, subscribe online. It's $5 for a month. It's only $30 for a year, $35.
Yeah, or stop into the office and say hi to us. We had a guy come in and wanted the last 3 weeks of papers yesterday. So that was
I mean, it's just, we have archived editions that you can always go back. And if there are some things, I had somebody call and they were asking me about an ongoing issue with the county commission, and they were looking for old articles. Well, I told them, I said, subscribe to the website.
Yeah,
and you can search archived articles over the last 10 years.
I do it all the time.
Oh yeah, I do too.
I forgot what happened last year or 2 years ago, so you got to search the archives.
That's it, because I mean, 1 year rolls into the next. So I mean, having those archives gives you a good chance to do deep dives. And speaking of deep dives, you started that on the candidates. So this week we featured the district house.
Right. The Chuck Brand and Marshall Rawson.
No, not Chuck. Chase.
I'm sorry, Chase.
He's
Brand.
not running against his dad.
I'm sorry, his dad is very active on social media in the community. But regardless, Chase Brandon and Marshall Rawson in that race, looking at basically public records, both associated with their campaigns and their private businesses and the property they own. And but in Marshall Rawson's case, delinquent tax bills that got published recently, and some speeding tickets. He admitted he had in past tense a lead foot in the past. So we got some comments from him regarding that. And of course, he wanted to flip around and talk more about the Brandon campaign.
Yeah, and I mean, it's kind of one of those things. I'm sure some people would say, why go through? But I mean, there are things, if you go to the Clerk of Court's website, you can search so much, and you would be surprised what you would learn about some people. I mean, speaking of lead feet, I have been known to have a lead foot myself.
Those school zone cameras have got me twice.
Yes. So, I mean, it's kind of one of those things. Usually your checkbook helps you outgrow that habit very quickly. But it's still, there's just things that you can see, decisions that people make, and how potentially that could affect the job that they're running for.
Certainly.
So one way or the other. So I mean, that's kind of the idea. So next week we're jumping into county candidates, county commissioners.
Currently going through public records, searching many databases, both here locally and in counties where their businesses and they have operated, at least that we know of. I'm not going to find if you were on vacation and somewhere in Montana and something happened.
But we're looking within,
within reason.
Proximity of where they live, where they work, that type of thing. So next week, whatever we come up with county commission candidates, that'll be in that paper. And so, that's kind of, the biggest thing is, though, go vote. I mean,
voting starts tomorrow. You'll have 10 days of early voting before
8th through the 15th,
and then 3 days later on the 18th is the elections.
Yeah, and it's at the Supervisor of Elections Office. So go see Chris Milton and his wonderful staff, and the volunteers that help out here at election time, the poll workers. They do everything they can to make that an painless process. You're probably not going to face the lines that you did during the the presidential election.
Yeah.
But
it's great to do on your lunch break. You'll get out pretty quick.
Get your I voted sticker, brag about it online.
Yeah, so just, and encourage everybody, your friends and family, to go vote, because this is your chance to have your voice heard. If you don't vote, you don't have a right to complain.
Yeah, these folks are going to be making decisions for the next 2 to 4 years. So
all the griping about growth, put somebody in there that you're confident can make the right decisions based on what you want.
Yeah. And speaking of commissioners, so they set the maximum property tax rate at the current...
Yeah, the current millage rate, which is 7.29. Some other numbers.
Yeah, which is a little increase.
Well, it's a tax increase based on how much money they're going to get, because values have increased. The same rate is going to generate more money, and that's where the increase comes in.
So basically, they have an option, and that's where some people don't understand, because they say, well, property taxes go up every year. Well, the millage rate, they have not changed in multiple years, but
the dollar's coming out of your pocket.
Yes, your bill has been higher because the value changes. And I mean, some of those changes, and as several of the different candidates in the Q&As pointed out, the property values have increased a lot in the last 10 years, which has caused big jumps in bills. And so while the commissioners can honestly say they've not voted for a tax hike necessarily, with the value increase, and they are well aware that by keeping the same rate,
they're going to get a little more money.
They're going to get a little more money because of property tax value increasing.
But they can technically say, I did not raise the millage rate.
Now, they could theoretically do what they call the rollback rate, which they have not done in many years, where it would make sure your property tax bill stayed the same.
Yeah, so that the rollback rate is under state law is the rate that would generate roughly the same amount of tax dollars the coming year as the county got the current year. Imagine in a Great Recession type environment where real estate values are dropping precipitously, your tax bill would theoretically go down at the same rate, just as it's going up under the same rate.
If they actually drop your property values. It seems like when property values hit a point, they very rarely drop excessively lower.
Well, they not naturally. Usually it takes some kind of calamity, and fingers crossed that does not happen, and we all keep the wealth that
that's built into the property. But yeah, it's essentially the way that they've done it. It's they've set the maximum amount they can charge, and so now they have to start fine tuning that budget over the next month. Before it gets locked in. So you still have time to go put your 2 cents in at meetings, because they're still holding meetings.
And the first opportunity to do that will be on September 1st at 2 p.m., I believe. Is when
right. Because essentially they set this max millage rate because, as all property owners out here are probably familiar with, they're going to get a notice in the mail that says they call it a trim notice.
Yeah, basically preview of what your tax bill is going to be for the coming year.
It's not the bill, but it's, like you said, it's a preview saying if the county commissioners vote this way, this is your bill. Or they could do this, and this would be your bill. So it's just putting that info out there. So, and it's giving you the dates of, if you don't like what you're seeing, go down there and talk to them. So show up at the meetings.
And so, over the next, 30 days or so, they're going to be setting a budget. They'll have 2 public hearings. Like I said, the first one is September 1st, and the second hearing will be about 2 weeks later. The commissioners will put everything to bed. Now, we did get a preview kind of what's coming from Brooklyn Neville, the county finance director, Tuesday night. And according to her, county started the fiscal year with about $18 million in the general fund balance. That's sort of the money that's just sitting there at the beginning of the year. She's projecting that's going to be down to $10 million by the end of the year. So that means that's how much they're going to have for the coming financial fiscal year, just sitting in the bank. And a lot of that money is going to pay the current bills for the sheriff's office, county fire rescue, roads, solid waste.
Yeah.
The general fund subsidizes all of those, and those are basically the core services of county government.
Right, which is, kind of leads us into a little bit about the property tax amendment and how now there's a lot of people that are crying foul when it comes to...
It scared the bejesus out of people.
Yes.
Wait.
It's kind of one of those things that almost when the governor thought it was a great idea, and so he told lawmakers to make this happen, and so they made it happen in a record time frame. And now, kind of what I've heard, the governor's even backed off a little bit because the changed up plan
wasn't exactly what he proposed.
Exactly. It wasn't his complete idea, and so, I think that rush to judgment situation.
Yeah, one of the big differences in what they put on the ballot and what the governor wanted was this sort of fund for small counties like us to kind of offset some of those losses. And when they took that out, including County Commissioner Jimmy Anderson, he flipped his lid, basically.
All right. But I mean, it's also a case of, how can you create a fund if you don't know how you're going to put the money in there? Where's that money going to come from to put in that fund to cover that balance?
Exactly.
So yes, we have a letter this week from Chris Doolin, who is a county lobbyist.
Yeah, he represents both small county Baker, but also the coalition of small counties like Baker, basically North Florida, some in Central Florida. And he penned a long, powerful kind of op-ed against the amendment and what it could potentially mean for small counties.
Yeah, so I mean, at this point, we're kind of waiting to see what happens now that the judge said you have to change the language.
Yeah, the proposed language got thrown out because it was kind of, they called it electioneering or campaigning, like within the ballot amendment. sort of just making it sound very nice and not.
It's more a persuasive amendment than it was a factual, legal.
So, from my understanding, the Attorney General's office is now rewriting that language, and they have 10 days as of whenever they made the ruling came down. I think it was Monday or Tuesday. But regardless, very soon we're going to have some new language to look at.
Mm-hmm. All right. And moving on.
Yeah, so this one is good to know for pet owners and animal lovers. FBCA, or Friends of Baker County Animals, recently got a grant.
Yes.
$15,000.
Miss Paige Pittman has been busy. I mean, she
don't stop.
I wished I had her energy. Her and Jessica Johns at the Women's Club is like the Baker County's Energizer Bunnies when it comes to good causes and volunteering and getting involved. I mean, they
don't stop, can't stop, won't stop.
Yes. And so, I mean, Paige has helped us here at the office a couple of times with. There's a cat problem. There's a restaurant with a big dumpster here. Of course, we have the American Legion with their big dumpster. And when you have dumpsters like that and you have food that gets in it, you tend to have populations. And we have found kittens on more than one occasion. And so she helped us trap a few of them, and she took them and got them fixed so we don't have kittens, and it really has helped.
We don't have a cat colony around the office anymore.
Yeah, so I mean, but she got this grant, and of course the grant is kind of along the concept because she would get a lot of requests with this because she focuses very heavily on the feral cat population.
Yeah.
And I mean, then some people would have their pets, and even though they did like a low cost option, some people can't afford that. I mean, they're on very fixed incomes, so part of their income is buying the cat food, but for kind of the extra stuff is out of their reach. So I mean, with this grant, I know part of her goal is to expand it for free to as many as they can, so we can get a handle on the cat and dog overpopulation, because that's a problem out here.
Yeah. I mean, I have 2 Baker County Animal Control adoptees in my house, but I mean, there's only so many dogs you can adopt.
Yes, I mean, having the cute animals on the front page every week, my house would be overrun if I was in charge of that decision.
And shout out county commissioners too. They're looking to invest in some more money in animal control in the coming budget. So
it's there's lots going on. And also be sure to check out that really cool story about Firefly, the mailbox fire rescue dog.
Yeah, we talked about it a little bit last week, but that was a really fun, cool story. Just seeing so many people caring for that dog, from the state firefighters that found her, to county animal control, to the foster family that's taken her in to sort of nurse her back to health. And eventually adopt her out.
So, I mean, there's lots going on there. Be sure to, another good reason to get the paper this week.
Definitely.
And then Chris Milton, our Supervisor of Elections, he announced yesterday on Facebook that they're going to be hosting a Facebook Live to share election results as they become available. So I thought that was pretty cool.
They're stealing our thunder.
Yeah, I was going to say, kind of doing our job for us, but hey, let's work for us.
I was about to say, we don't have to go down there and set it up, and obviously we're going to share the link out, we're going to get the information in the paper.
His son, Kirsten, is going into like TV production and stuff.
Yeah.
So I think he's going to help him.
Yeah, I think he works for the NFL, but he's not
NBA.
NBA, yeah. National Basketball Association.
Yeah.
We tried to interview him about it, but he signed an NDA.
So he can't really talk about what he does, but he has skills. So he's going to put them to use to get a nice professional live stream, because a lot of people really kind of missed the whole Commissioner or former Commissioner James Croft and the radio broadcast.
Yeah.
That was a big to-do out here for years. And so when they stopped that really, it changed election night across Baker County. Because, I mean, I remember going up to the elections office to get results. And, of course, Mr. Croft and whoever was helping him that night, they had a little table set up and they're doing their live thing.
Command center style.
Yes, and they would usually have to be outside. And I mean, you couldn't get into that parking lot. We walked because you could not pull in for the sheer amount of people.
Yeah, people
lined
up, pickup trucks,
yes,
sitting around in lawn chairs.
And I mean,
let's bring back tailgating at the election.
Yes, yes.
It's like a football game.
And the supervisor of election would come out. I mean, I remember John Parton coming out, and then of course Miss Nita coming out, and they would read the results. You know,
tapping the mic,
precinct by precinct. They would announce them, and I mean, there you would see all these people with their notebooks, and they're writing it down, and then they're adding it up, and they're, you know, they've already got like a. I know one person specifically who has a spreadsheet, and they wait for those numbers to come in and they drop them in so it automatically totals and tallies. And I mean, you might find out a half a second before the next person runs those numbers.
The times they are changing.
They are. So Facebook Live on the Supervisor of Elections, like I said, we're going to stream it out.
And we'll probably go by the elections office
and
see what's going on.
If anybody shows up, I mean, you'll probably have your various, you know, watch parties set up at various areas around the county.
Yeah, calendars will probably be full.
Yeah. But, I mean, it's, you know, like you said, times are changing. But you can also be sure to get the paper that Wednesday after, and we're going to have them printed out for you there as well.
Yeah, hopefully we'll have all the results as well as reaction from the candidates.
Yeah, so it's getting here.
And the other big news, Monday is back to school.
Is it? Oh. I mean, you know, it is kind of funny because this is the first time in 25 years I have not had an open house or something with a kid, and it's different. I'm finding this new phase kind of, I feel like so unplugged. I mean, you know, all of a sudden I started seeing all these pictures and I was like, school. Oh, wow, it's open house. And I mean, you know, we just had our sports guy, who's also a teacher, give us some outstanding numbers on attendance. I think he said 15 kids in the elementary schools did not show up.
Across 3 schools. So that's probably 1,000-ish kids, maybe. That's
a whole lot of kids and parents who showed up to open house. And I love it. The engagement is so important. Mm-hmm. So to know that many kids had an adult with them, it may not have been a parent. Because, I mean, it's hard. When you're a parent, you're working to do all the things.
Sometimes it's aunts, uncles, grandparents.
It is. But, I mean, you know, to know that many kids were able to go to their classrooms ahead of time, meet their teachers, you know, get that supply list. Do not go to Walmart if you don't have to for the next 3 days.
I made that mistake yesterday, but I didn't know it was open house. And I guess everybody decided to go get school supplies right after open house. And I was like, I'm just here for some glue because I was making slime last night.
Oh, yeah. It's for Amazon delivery people. I mean, you're going to see thousands of these little boxes with pens and pencils and highlighters and glue sticks and paper and all the things. I mean, now, you know, mine has reached the point of my Amazon order was a keyboard for an iPad and a mouse, and because we've hit the college era, and we had lots of leftover supplies from high school that when we packed him up and moved him, I tossed all that in a box and said, you might need this. Take it with you. So, but yes, shout out to the kids. Just remember, Monday morning, be patient because the buses are going to be on the roads. Mm-hmm. The parents, everybody, it seems like, tries to take their kid to school on the first day, and you have a massive traffic jam at all the schools. So
everybody be nice.
Speed zone cameras are on.
Yes. Watch those speed zones. You will get ticketed. But kudos to all those teachers that slaved at open house yesterday.
Yes,
Great
and
job.
have been there for a week trying to get their classrooms in order.
Yeah, and they're getting thanked right now at a luncheon at the fairgrounds. So I hope that's going well for them.
Yeah. So definitely leave a little early to make your morning go smoother. You know, if you leave even earlier and squeeze in time to grab some coffee and a goodie on your way out.
Will be served.
I mean, we've got multiple coffee places around here now that
I think some of them are doing specials for teachers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think Baker Business is doing a thing for teachers. Or did they already do that?
I don't know. They usually do a little thank you thing for teachers, but yeah, there's lots of back to school specials and deals. I mean, and too, don't forget for back to school clothes and supplies and everything. There are some small places around here, these boutiques, and yeah, it's tax-free weekend, or it's not even a weekend there, it's like a month, I think.
Yeah.
So, you know, we've got lots of places where you can get some really cool clothes for your kiddos. And your teenagers, and you know, save some money and shop local. So I'm always all about that, shopping local.
Absolutely. All right, so if you've made it this far, drop us a little cat or a dog in honor of the $15,000 grant they just got.
Cha-ching.
And drop that in the comments for us. And that's all for this week.
All right, y'all have a great week.